When my brother came home from SCAD and taught me about the joint skeleton, he also taught me that there was a different body type for females. And it only varies slightly, but I've seen it in real life. It makes a lot of sense. So this video right here is going to be all about the joint skeleton for a female and what that looks like. As you can tell, obviously the hips are a little bit bigger. Let's go through this step by step. The first step is the same as the last. You're going to draw a circle for the head, and then for the second step you're going to draw the pelvis a little bit wider. It's going to be wider and a little bit skinnier. The third step is drawing the torso, also a little bit skinnier. And then, you do all the other steps. Draw the rib cage, the shoulder blades, and then the legs and the arms, and blase blase. One differentiation between a female skeleton and a male skeleton is, or the joint skeleton anyway, is that, well, I mean, okay, let me preface this by saying it really depends on the character that you're drawing. I mean, they can have whatever posture or whatever demeanor that they want. However, generally speaking, I've seen a lot more females a little bit more closed off. So their poses are a little bit more inward, whereas a lot of male poses are a little bit more outward. Maybe that's just a superhero type of stance. Maybe that's just females that I draw, at least for this example, are going to be a lot more shy, or whatever type of body language you want to draw, you can. I'm not saying this is a definitive you have to do this, but this is just how I learned it. So that's the joint skeleton for a female. And I drew several different poses for this particular type of skeleton as well. What I did to do this, just like I did for the last video with the male skeleton, is I looked at a lot of Google photos and I kind of just saw female poses and I drew them. I, typed in action poses and I, would draw those action poses, but as a skeleton. And then after drawing the skeleton, I was able to go back and add the rest of the body. This is definitely a practice run for learning how to draw pretty much any person that you want, any body type that you want. This is a body type that I drew for a female that's, very skinny and, maybe one that's a little bit thicker. There's several different body types that you can draw, and I highly recommend actually getting the How to Draw a Diverse Manga book from Saturday AM, because that goes into a lot more details about body types and everything else. But ultimately, like I said before, if you can grasp this joint skeleton, you can pretty much draw whatever pose you want. So let's get to it. Let me draw this skeleton. We're going to start off, like I said, with the head, and then pelvis and torso. Then we're going to draw spine, make this rib cage. Then we have the shoulders, hip joints, legs, and I'm going to give her the same treatment. Does that work? Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give her a different pose. I want it to be a little bit more, a little cooler. What could she do? Well, I mean, I've drawn this pose several times, so I mean, maybe that's why I'm, kind of not wanting to draw this, but I'm just gonna draw it. It's like, I mean, this is just basically the basics I'm trying to teach you, so I'm not gonna overthink this. And I don't think you should either. So, all right. So after you draw this skeleton, like I said in my previous video, you can make them blue, lower the opacity, and then you draw the body on top of it. Now, in future videos, I'm going to be going over how to draw their faces, how to draw, different facial features, um, basically everything that makes the person the actual person. But this is just the basics right now on how to draw different poses, different body types, and I really want you to grasp it. So, like I said in my previous video, I really think that what you should do is draw the skeleton at least 10 times on a page. Practice makes perfect, right? I mean, I guess that's a saying that is somewhat true. You're always going to be trying to improve, so it doesn't necessarily make perfect, because when you're perfect, you don't have any room to improve. But practice makes you better. That's for sure. So keep on practicing, keep on striving to get better, and eventually you'll be able to draw a pose like this and then draw a body type very simply, very easily. So let me go back. Boop. So like I said, just practice, practice, practice. Keep on trying to draw different body types, different poses. Look around in your actual life and draw from reference in that way, or look it up in Google. Look up different images that you can try to replicate in your own style. Just have fun, because the once you start thinking about this as homework, or something that you must do in order to master it, like it might take away some of the fun, and I don't want that to be the case. So try to have as much fun as you can, because that's what drawing is all about. Don't overthink it.